How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to continue leveling the Cleave Berserker that I started before the Gucci Hobo event. Haven't touched the game in about a week, but we kind of have this already planned out. So we don't got too much of gear crafting. We don't have a helmet. We don't have boots, but everything else is here aside from crafting rings. So the first thing that we're going to try and do with this build is throw on Rigwald's Command and Rigwald's Savagery. Now I have a nicely rolled Rigwald's Command. Now all of these are kind of mid-rolled. None of them are great. So since I have 5 of them, I can vendor 3 of the badly rolled ones, get a new one, and kind of get a new roll here. I mean, that one's a kind of above mid-roll slightly. I don't know. It's still not great. This is an SSF, but the idea here is to use Bear's Girdle for the 20 max rage. With this on, we get 25 max rage while wielding a sword. So if we have both of these on, this one gives damage over time multiplier per rage while wielding an axe, which is over here. So then I need a chest for 6 link, so that will go there. Amulet will go on so that I can remove my vulnerability right here and apply it with blasphemy on nearby enemies for free. I think for my 6 link, I'm going to be running with Cleave, Life Tap, Rage, Melee Fizz, Brutality, and Chance to Bleed, I think, is what I want to try first, rather than a multi-strike. Because it seems like we go like one big hit, let them bleed, they'll explode from the hemophilia gloves. Let me get this fixed up and we'll see how it works. This in presence is worthy of a divine. It's below half on the health and low on the flat fizz, so what we got? Not that one. It's worse. Still not great. Really bad on the armor. Come, I used 3 divines on this. Please. One more. Okay, better damage, better armor. Kind of mid on the life, but okay. I think I'm ready. I have a helmet, life resists. I got increased area effect on this, and enemies hit have reduced life regeneration rate, which will help bleed damage against enemies that have sources of regen. I anointed veteran soldier. This cost a gold oil. Is dot multi and life. It's going to allow me to not have to push up here on the tree. I'll just take that. Got a ring, has dex, some chaos res, my resistances sorted, Warcry buff effect and chance to block attack damage on chest, and on the boots, extra movement speed, onslaught, life regeneration rate, extra life regen per endurance charge, hopefully provides some tankiness. So I've got 45 additional max rage just with the weapon and the belt. As a tree, there's 10 max rage there. You get 10 max rage here, so we're gonna have a lot of rage. So it's gonna be a lot of dot multi. And then there's one more thing I need to do. This mastery here, +3 to melee strike rage, is not affecting my cleave radius at all, which I think it should. It'd be cool if that, like, adding range to stuff would kind of scale with, like, Reeve or Lacerate, and like it does with Cyclone. I think Cyclone melee strike range increases its AoE. I figured it would work like that. I'm going to take that point, put it into Unwavering Stance, so I cannot be stunned by attacks that I block, and I currently have a 31% chance to block attack damage. So it's not amazing, but there's lots of sources of dual wield block down here. So I got everything in here. Do an increased duration on the Blood Rage and Corrupting Fever. Let's test it out. This map has patches of Burning Ground. All monster damage from hits ignites. Radius isn't amazing, but it's supposed to, like, one hit, like, bleed everything. So we're looking at this 3,000 to 6,000, what that gets to once we get Rage. Alright, so yeah, it's going to take a while to build up all this Rage. Unless I can get a, like, big pack of enemies like that. So, and then all the attack speed will come from the rage. So I haven't really spec'd into a lot of attack speed. It's corpses. The damage is okay in a T6 map, of course. But I want to one slap these enemies and they die. Here we go. Resist chaos damage. Yeah, that's what I want. Might have to, like, scale the bleed effect duration or even change these gloves to not do the explode, which could be okay. But for at least leveling, it's probably going to be the best. Endurance charges up. Can we get back down here? So this jumped up to like 25,000. 21. With no frenzy charges. Yeah, I don't think I've used Corrupting Fever or Corrupting Blood or Blood Rage. So the endurance or the frenzy charges will certainly help as well. So yeah, it's like 12 to 24,000, and they take increased damage if they're moving. So that's kind of the idea. If I just hit them and run. A multi-strike would be allow me to hit like more enemies quicker, but like I'm not gaining the bleed damage out of that. Does not affect the bleed number when, like in here, when I use the rallying cry. I mean, I feel like the damage on the boss was fine. Okay, try Crazy T10. This has got more monster life. Enemies cannot be stunned. Should be fairly straightforward. How long does the bleed last? Not long enough, apparently. And I swapped in Cruelty for chance to bleed. I think that'll do me better. So like I still am not sure if the bleed is getting the effect of the rallying cry. I believe it should be. I have all this rage up. Like the belt has 6% physical damage extra per 10 rage. So that's 66% increased physical damage while at max rage. I'm not on multi-strike, so I'm like I have to aim. Which is kind of the idea of Cleave, I think. More AoE would be good. It's not the simplest to get. I could anoint AoE, but the AoE is mostly on the smaller nodes on the tree. You don't get as much out of the big node. It gives you area damage with 10% effect, but it also would increase the effect of the explosions. Or maybe I put something like a pulverize in. I think that's attack damage, not physical damage. I don't think that would boost the bleed. Since I'm kind of committed to trying to go bleed with this, I don't think it would really work. I need him to run, but he's not going to run. What if I put like a chance to flee on Herald of Purity? So enemies they hit would have a chance to flee, and maybe I can get them to run instead of getting caught like fighting my totem. Or which I think the totem is probably my weakest thing. Ancestral War Chief, this is more melee damage, so it's going to affect my hit, but it's not going to affect my bleed. So this is probably a gem socket that I could free up for this Herald of Purity. I could throw a chance to flee on there and see what happens with that. It shouldn't be much of a mana multiplier. As it turns out, chance to flee does not have a mana multiplier at all. So I went ahead and quality this up. So I get 45% chance to cause monsters to flee from the Herald of Purity. So all the minions that I'm summoning should do that. Now I cleared the map just fine at T10, so I'm going to try T12 this time. Nothing crazy, some extra fizz as lightning, and we'll see how that works. I need a like single target, I think, maybe to like see it in action. Does that just up the chance per level? It does. Alright, so we're going to hit it once and then run away. Now he's got... Okay, well I can't do that because... I mean, if the boss doesn't want to move, you really can't stack the damage. Alright, I think that was a bad boss to test. Maybe we'll try this Ashen Wood boss, T14. See if we can get that one to run away. Monster variety, LE weakness, move attack, cast speed, and LE res. Okay. T14 map at level 69. I'm actually taking a XP penalty doing this, I think. Need a pack of enemies to war cry in. Oh, and I'm getting eater influence in here. Oh, lovely. No! Not prepared for that. No spell suppression, so I got to rely on my resistances to cover me on spell damage, which it's not balanced. The game is not balanced around that. I think spell damage needs to be lowered by like 30%, and then the effectiveness of spell suppression also lowered by like 30%. like max 35 maybe, or something crazy along those lines, so that resistances are actually like a valid defense against spells. Kind of shift the balance of it. It would also be really cool to stack this dual wield block and then like convert all attack block into spell block. You cannot block attack damage kind of thing, so that you can play a dual wield build without spell suppression and get spell block, and then stack evasion for your attacks. Okay, now can we get this thing out of flee? I mean, I saw like 2 stutter steps, but that might have been because it lost vision from the tree. I think in theory the idea is good, and it probably works just fine on rares. These bosses kind of have these fixed animations. Maybe they're immune to flee even. That's a possibility. You drop a flame totem. Enemies are really good at running away from flame totems. Getting out of the range of that. I don't know, I feel like from what I've seen just thus far, well, and again, I'm level 69, I think there is some viability to these weapons, probably. The big reason, because, like, I dropped so many of these weapons that it's like, we have to test it out and see if they're okay. In SSF, dropped so many of them. I've had 5 Savageries and 3 commands. They cost next to nothing. I mean, it's also quite possible that I'm not building it in the right way either, because like I'm applying Maim with a Flesh and Stone, running Herald of Purity, Vitality, Vulnerability, Curse, Aura. Maybe there's other things that will work better. A Malevolence boosts dot damage, and Despair increases dot damage, and Pride increases fizz damage. Pride basically does the same thing as this, and the Vulnerability Curse. It's kind of like the same thing. Maybe there's something here. We'll keep toying with it. 83 Safehouse here. The enemies move. Like, run around. It's been pretty solid. Rogue Exiles. Corel's gonna run. Ah, no, 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 no. Oh. I was out of flasks. One of these guys can cause bleed. Oh, such good XP. Almost to full, like, over full level. I did get a passive point. Well, there's no way that this can go horribly. Got Kitava touched, Soul Eater, Sentinel, Steel Infused, with 6 essences that will duplicate itself because there are Shrieking essences in here. This might need the other character. But, well, I did push the button. No. Okay, so we'll try to take care of this on the Spectral Helix. I haven't played this character in like a month. Whoa. They're healing though because of Soul Eater. So I really need to get everything out here. I don't even know what Kitava Touch gives. I know it's not the currency ones. Oh. Oh, this is so much more tanky of a character. Uniques, it appears. There we go. So let's kind of scan here. What do we get? We got one of these sight helms under sight. We got a Jack the Axe. Those are easy to get. Ooh, Duresso's Defiance. This is a good find for SSF. And this just got buffed as well. It guarantees 100% onslaught effect. So you could get like triple plus onslaught effect with a raider with one of these. Insane chess piece. Centrex, some decent finds. I haven't built around the Duresso's Defiance in a very long time. I'm now currently level 81. And it's time to craft these rings. So I'm going to use abrasive catalysts to enhance the fizz rolls on these, I think. We have a bunch of essences. We can put fizz on them. I have 2 of these that have ring dot multi. So we're going to start by trying this. That one kind of missed. That one was not much better, though it did roll dex. Yeah, no. So we're going to try to use Shrieking Essence of Contempt. Let's try that. See if we can hit a life. Accuracy is good as well. I'll need that later. I haven't swapped out a Resolute Technique yet, but give me something here. I mean, I also have resists to cover here. Let's actually, like, see. I need Cold Res and Chaos Res. Lightning appears to be okay. Fire's barely holding on. Maybe it's a better idea. Let's take one of these and hit with Fertile Catalysts and see if then with the Contempt I can hit life. There's a big mana regen. Ooh, there we go. There we go, with Fire Res. So we need to convert fire into cold. We need to convert fire into cold. Boom, there's Cold Res. And open Suffix for some chaos. Res are capped, not perfect. So let me just go ahead and hit this with the fire and chaos. Alright, so I don't have many of the shriekings left. Can use the deafenings. Dex Int with lightning res. It's not the worst. I did have to spec into some dexterity and intelligence to cover myself from these rings. This is craft life and potential use. Alright, so we're on to the other base, I guess. This needs a prefix to suffix to remove either the ES or the mana. I don't think I've farmed beasts at all. Or at least not enough to use a metacraft. This needs another suffix. What is the other suffix going to be on this? Ooh, or do I? What does a Warlord Exalt give me as a suffix? We must know. Go to Craft of Exile. Suffix. Increase damage with bleeding. Increase bleeding duration. Flammability on hit. Crit multi. This has a physical weighting. Increase bleed duration and damage with bleed. Okay, that's solid. I was looking for increased area of effect there, but that's okay. We'll try and hit that. It's probably the best odds. No, this has the life and... I think I'm going to put these catalysts back on because I got the life. I'd rather have the damage, and then it should be weighted so that when I use this Warlord's Exalt on here, we get the bleed. We got the crit multi. I did find one more. We get one more try at this. See, this is something I'd love to see. The dex, the rarity, the accuracy. This is a fantastic ring. This ring can go on as is, craft life. I need extra cold res somewhere that has lightning res. I do have it charges, so like I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, I think this is my ring, because this ring allows me to remove this point and this one. No, we're going into this endurance charge. I got this endurance charge. Push down to get the endurance charge notes here. So I get chance to gain endurance charge on kill just while mapping. But this node, increased area of effect per endurance charge. I'm going to get stun duration per endurance charge. I'm going to get armor per endurance charge. And here I'm getting dot multi per endurance charge. I also increased the bleed duration. So that's all I've done on the passive tree, aside from some slight rerouting out of these nodes here that give increased melee physical damage. Does not increase physical damage for bleed. So this melee physical damage is increasing my hits, but not my bleed. So we were able to free up some points there to pull this off. And then eventually I'm going to try and push out here and get Swagger and Blade Barrier. That's kind of the final step. But yeah, I'll get the Endurance Charge, the Jewel Socket. Will put me at level 83, so there's still plenty of passives there. Another Jewel Socket here for 1 point I probably need to do. I have this one sitting here. Has bleed damage and life with some strength. Next best one that I have. I could save this ring or another Warlord Exalt for the potential for the AoE, but if I'm being honest, am I going to play enough in SSF before we have the events in 2 weeks that GG's announced? Am I going to play enough to actually get this Warlord Exalt? Probably not. So we're going to... I mean, actually though, you know what? After second thought, is there anything else that I can get on this that is useful? I can get rarity. It's going to give me flat ES. No, okay, we save that. We save it. We do not exalt this, actually. If I take off Resolute Technique right now, having that accuracy, what does that put me at here? 93% chance? That's not enough. That is not enough. Even with the like 40 on the implicit of this sword here, this is not enough accuracy. Offhand chance to hit 85%. Okay, so maybe axes just have a less chance to hit. You need more accuracy, I guess, to hit with an axe. That's news to me. I mean, there's a decent chunk of accuracy right here. Like 93 is close. I can find that accuracy somewhere. But 85 is not close. Okay, I think we stay Resolute Technique for the time being. I'm gonna have to find a way out of it though, because if I want to run a lab, get all this Savagery for the extra flat fizz, I need to do crits. That means I need to not have that. I think it needs more levels. So this can kind of get crazy with shrines. I've got a massive shrine right now. This makes the AoE absurd. It's rather fantastic. I wish the AoE could be this big all the time, but I can't fit a carcass jack into this at the moment, so not gonna happen. And we're back to the normal sized cleave. Only going to complete my Uber lab. Only level 82, but pretty simple. I also got a brutal shrine. It's hard to build up rage in this room, but luckily he spawned lots of enemies, so the Warcry could get a lot of it. Easy peasy. We get 2 enchants, so maybe we can get something here. Flicker Strike cooldown recovery rate. Flicker Strike would be insane with this. Just replace Cleave with Flicker Strike. Regenerate 2% of life if you hit recently. Let's do that. Despair Curse Effect. Alright, so then we take Flawless Savagery. This is giving me some increased crit chance. I get increased flat fizz if I've dealt a critical strike recently, and 25 crit multi. So I've changed some things. The big thing is I dropped the life and the endurance charge that's up here, and I used that to pull out of all of this right here, and then reroute that through the bottom of here, so I can come over here and get all the block chance. So I got a chance to gain frenzy charge on block now, and I have 53% chance to block attack damage. It was nice because I don't have evasion, and I lowered my life. So then, like, I could also put this down through here, and this gets me access to Eagle Eye, which is accuracy. So now with my Cleave, I have 100% main chance to hit, 95 against evasive, 98% chance with offhand, 90% against evasive. Pretty solid, as I've taken out Resolute Technique. And then I got some life back through Juggernaut, but life is kind of an issue at the moment. Though I do have the whole Scion Life Oil here if I really wanted to just get life. Got an extra Frenzy Charge just sitting here. There is something in here. The Dual Wielding Mastery, that dual wielding does not inherently grant chance to block attack damage, which I think it gives you 15% chance to block attack while dual wielding, but you get 15% chance to block spells with that, but I lose 15% and I prefer to have the block. And there's also this, which would cap my block at 50. I'll show this. So this is going to cap my block at 50 here, and then every attack block over it's going to give me spell block. So if I could stack enough attack block, then I could get decent spell block out of that too, but I don't know. Ooh, this is increased physical damage generic as well. So maybe I fill out the Silent Life Wheel and kind of nix this extra endurance charge. I'm coming up here. Like, I was actually thinking about coming to get Purity of Flesh, but it seems to be going all right. It's working about how I expected it to. It's kind of messy. The clear's not great, but it's satisfying. Let's do a T15 map with Beyond and Feeble. Sure, this one's simple enough. Kind of see where we're at here. Get a little benchmark to end things off. All right, we need this, we need this. We need charges. So I only got 3,800 life, and I take more damage because of being a Berserker. I got 80, 78, 78 resistances. But having the block chance, the 53% block chance, it's so much easier to survive. Actually. And I came in here with Beyond, of course I did. The only thing that really like puts it on another level is the massive shrine. If I can get a shrine that gives me massive, it's just bonkers. So we get a speed one instead. Now, I put the precision, like, I don't know if I mentioned that. I put precision in for the chance to flee. So I no longer have the chance to flee on the Herald of Purity. The only time I ever noticed it really doing anything was actually with the Beyond. Like, because the Beyond monsters were spawning behind me. And then they'd start running away. Because the Herald of Purity or Sentinel, whatever, they were hitting them because they can't keep up with me. So they're always behind me, and everything they hit is behind me, and it causes them to run away. It's like almost too much. I don't think I can level that again, because if I turn off my vulnerability, that's the only thing that costs mana currently. My Blasphemy vulnerability. Like, maybe there's a way to get that into a life tap set up somewhere, but I don't see it currently. It's just gonna stay there. I got it to level 14, so it's not the worst off. Do the boss. Let's see what our cruelty stack does. 29% against this boss. Okay, then it jumped to 33, so I got a better hit, it looks like. It goes to 37 with some exerted attacks. Right, and this guy will walk around. It is noticeable, like, the extra bleed damage when something's walking around, but it's so often that whatever I'm fighting will just get caught up fighting the Sentinels and just doesn't really do anything. Keep me it. Yep, okay. I could level it one more time. Up to 35 mana, so it's probably the last one for sure. So against normal enemies, the cruelty is okay. I imagine against like a more in-game boss, it's gonna be a mess, but we will figure that out next time probably if I decide to keep playing this. I really don't have much motivation to play Path of Exile right now. I know there's events coming, so I know I'm going to spend a lot of time because I'm going to play every single event that comes out, and that's going to be about 2 weeks, so I'll do that. And I did just get Rift Wizard finally. It was on sale on Steam. It's a game I've been waiting to play for over a year now. Came out last September, and it's basically like a 2D, like old school roguelite graphics wise, but you like build a spell thing, which seems to me it has enough depth and versatility that you can build anything you want. Kind of like you can in Path of Exile. You just combine different skills together, like all the gems and stuff. I made a build, but I had to farm gear and grind levels and all that stuff. I think you just kind of play through the game and you like slowly equip and morph your spells and stuff. So you'll probably see some of that come across on the channel at some point, probably pretty soon. So I'm excited to try that out. Damage has not been the most amazing, but like it's doing okay. Like I'm surprised just taking these like fairly common unique weapons, what I was able to accomplish on this character like with such ease. Because I know there's a lot of life still in levels, because you get flat life per level, and then I can put more points into life. There's a lot I can still do here. I figured this was going to go really badly just based on my like estimates of it, because I don't POB stuff. I just kind of wing it. So I thought it was going to go pretty badly, and we'd like really quickly swap into this Paradoxica plus Savior reflection cleave thing. But there actually seems to be potential here. I'm going to keep trying to work on it and see what we can do. It still needs more levels, so I'll continue grinding. But that's all I've got for today. So I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, definitely hit the like button, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon just below the video, or by joining to become a member, and I'll see y'all next one. Cheers.